Hi, welcome to SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. This is Into the Weekend with Bet DSI, the call we do every Thursday with Brent, the headlines manager at DSI Sportsbook. Today is February 7th, so the Super Bowl was last week, and we are in the heart of the NHL, NBA, and college basketball seasons. Brent, thanks for being with us once again.
Good to be on, Peter.
All right, normally we're looking ahead to the action that you're anticipating, but I want to, since the Super Bowl was last weekend, I just want to get your thoughts on how you did, because I talked to Doc from Legends on Monday. I was expecting him to say that, he had maybe a small winner, but he said that he lost money on it, actually.
Yeah, no, we lost a little bit on the Super Bowl as well. I mean, we didn't lose a ton, but it's funny. I mean, maybe the taking the safety by Baltimore at the end of the game was the right strategy in terms of the time they ran out the clock, but they gave up 2 points. Now, 2 points was a big deal, not to them, of course, but to us that meant the game fell 3. Now,
right.
Baltimore by 3 means you're looking at the teasers on the sides now. So if San Fran was 3.5, 4 for most of the week, if you tease San Francisco by, that down to +3, +3.5, or +4, you're a winner now because of that safety. They were up 5 before that, so that safety really affected the books in terms of how the weekend went for us.
All right, so it was a losing Super Bowl, but it wasn't a disastrous Super Bowl, is what you're saying.
No, it wasn't disastrous at all. I mean, we had the game itself. Action was actually completely split. It was really good. We had a little bit more money on the over, so we lost to that. But the juice we made out was all right. And it was interesting that the halftime of that game. We usually don't talk about halftime lines, but San Francisco was a 7-point favorite, and the total was 24.5. And we had sharps just nonstop taking Baltimore +7, and the public was laying the 7 ad nauseum. And I didn't have any sharps laying the 7 on San Francisco. Just all sharps taking a +7. Now public was all over San Francisco -7, and it was really interesting because we thought we were in a decent position because we needed Baltimore small for the second half, but that didn't turn out for us either.
That's amazing. So it sounds to me, based on what I've spoken to you over the past 2 weeks, the Sharps must have gotten killed on this game because they took the under early, right? They took the Niners early and then the Niners late, and now you're telling me and you also told me that they took all the props correlated to the under, which I'm assuming most of those lost. So the Sharps.
The thing with the props is, the Sharps did not do very well to the props at all. But again, with the props department, their kind of mandate is just balance action, balance action, balance action. So we didn't have huge decision in our props, but we definitely had sides where the Sharps were going one way, all stuff tied to the under, and again, like I said, that didn't work out very well.
So it sounds like the Sharps got killed in 4 different ways on the Super Bowl then.
Yeah.
Right.
When we don't do well, when they don't do well, usually we don't do well.
Yeah. and they even got killed on the second half lines, you're telling me now.
Yeah, the second half, they were, like I said, they were all over Baltimore taking 7. And I mean, if you sit back and think about it, you're talking about, based on current form, these are currently the 2 best teams in the NFL. You're playing half a football game and you're getting a touchdown. I'm like, yeah, I would have taken the +7 as well, but I was too busy working.
Wow. Sharps, come on, get it together, man. Billy Walters, I'm talking to you. Get it together, pal. What is this?
Whoa. We don't mention names. We don't name names, Peter.
Oh, I'm naming names. Billy Walters, you're a Sharp, and you're supposed to win money on the frickin' Super Bowl. You're not supposed to be betting the wrong side of the public and losing every which way. What a disaster. Unbelievable. All right, hey, good for the public. Maybe the Sharps will get them back in college basketball. We'll see. But what we care about is it wasn't a disaster for you, Brent, and you guys are all still solvent, thankfully.
Yeah, no, the Super Bowl wasn't too bad for us at all. I mean, we've definitely had worse, and the lights are still on when I came in on Monday. I still had coffee in the coffee maker, so we're doing okay.
Right. Okay. Heart of the college basketball season right now, which I am very excited for. Love college basketball. Bunch of games coming up. I just have a bunch of the games where on Saturday and Sunday and Monday where there are going to be 2 ranked teams. Pitt and Cincinnati are playing on Saturday. Brett, that's going to go under. Set the line low, man. I'm telling you.
Oh, sorry, this is a statement of fact that it's going to go under.
Well, not if you set the line low enough, but if you hang that shit in the 120s,
that's what I was going to say. Well, what's the number? You can't throw statements like that. Now, I mean, let's see. Those two teams played, I think, was it December 31st? The end of December, they played each other, and Pittsburgh was at home as a 6-point favorite. The total there was 125. So I would expect a number around there again. I mean, they scored 131 points in that game. And
then also Florida. Florida strikes me. I mean, I assume that in college basketball, like the top 5 teams are always big public teams, and I'm assuming to Florida because they kept winning as such a big favorite in these dominant blowouts that they were a big public favorite team in the beginning of the year. But they're dealing with, they're pretty thin on the front court. They're dealing with some injuries. They just lost their 6th man, who's a big man. They're coming off their first SEC loss. Now they're playing Mississippi State, who's the worst team in the SEC. What do you think the line for that game is going to be? What kind of action do you think you're going to get?
Yeah, I mean, Mississippi State is not a good team, and obviously Florida is a quality team. Now, these two teams played recently. Florida was a 20.5-point favorite at Mississippi State. Now, you adjust for home court there, you're looking at Florida probably being like a 27.5, 28-point favorite now. And the thing is, I don't know if that number is high enough to stop people from betting on Florida, just because Mississippi State is just such a bad team, and they can get rolled over really easily.
And you think you're going to get public action on Florida, even if it's at 28?
Even if it's at 28, I would believe we would, yeah, and I'd be afraid of them winning.
Right. Okay, and then also Indiana and Ohio State, they're playing on Sunday, and of course Indiana's playing a big game tonight against Illinois, where it's being heavily debated on SBR right now. Indiana's a 7-point favorite. That game, you might get a bunch of sharp action on Ohio State at home, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but it all depends on the number, of course, Peter. And you're taking a look at Indiana tonight, who is a 7-point favorite at Illinois. Now, Ohio State, of course, is a better team than Illinois, so what do you figure the line's going to be? And I think it's going to be a pretty low number, a number that's going to attract action both ways. I'm guessing we're going to start around 3. That may go up to 3.5 or down to 2.5, but I think you're in that neighborhood. Now, Indiana as a team, they've beaten some good teams like Minnesota, Michigan State, Michigan, but I believe this is the first time they're playing a ranked opponent on the road. So I would be worried about this one. Ohio State's probably going to be one of those types of teams where if the public bets Indiana on the road, the sharps will probably come in the other way.
Yeah, I would think so too. And then on Monday we have Marquette and Georgetown. This is another one, Brent. I'm telling you, this game is going to be very, very low scoring. Don't hang a 120, hang like a 112.
No, I think that number is going to be around. I mean, it might be around, between 115 and 120 or something like that. But when you look back at these other games and kind of use them as a gauge, you have to look at current form and how teams are playing, and you also look at details of that game. Now, the first time these two played, Marquette started 11 out of 13. Georgetown was 10 out of 12. So, yeah, it went way under, but they absolutely stunk to start the game.
All right. Well, thanks so much once again, Brent from Bet DSI, and we will talk to you again next week.